since you've been away.
DJ Payne 1.
Oh, come on.
I don't think that I'm coming back. Boy, I told you I'm done with that. You think you can do me so wrong? I'm not the one, no, I'm not the one. I don't think that I'm coming back. Boy, I told you I'm done with that. You think you can do me so wrong? I'm not the one, no, I'm not the
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome on into the Space Cowboy Show. I'm your host, Ricardo, and oh my goodness, man. What a game from the Cowboys. Kind of not surprised, really. I think that, it's very Cowboys-esque. You lose to Carolina the way you did, and now you come back home and you take care of business versus the Commanders. Final score is 44-22. Belt to ass is the best way to put it. The Cowboys had control of the game for the most part, and there were things that popped into my mind as the game was going on, and I understand it's still a long season, and we'll get into those talking points in just a moment. Before I get into the pleasantries, I'm not sure if you guys saw the end to the Commanders versus Giants game. The Giants had a 26-8 lead with 7 minutes to go, and they lost that game. I think that is one of the funniest, because we have to play Denver next week, and that's going to be a challenge in and of itself. Now, the other thing, sorry, I'm just checking a couple things. Okay, cool. All right, so I watched this game, and as we all did, and I understand that the Commanders were missing a lot of pieces, and I understand that a lot of us looked at what happened in this game and said, yeah, you know what, but look, and as a fan, I'm going to be excited. Listen, you're back to 500, 44 points put on. The offense is exciting. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm really excited to talk about the offense, to see what they're doing, because this offense is deadly. Like, CeeDee Lamb coming back like nothing happened. You have George Pickens, now that he has developed chemistry with Dak Prescott. That is a deadly offense. And again, I'm not saying that the Cowboys are going to win the championship. That's not what I'm here to tell you. There is another thing I'm here to tell you about, and we'll get into that in just a moment. Now, before that, if you guys could do me a favor, please hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, you name it. If you want to support the channel further, you can hit that join button. If you're on the Twitter/X side of things, just keep tapping the screen, like it, follow, all that other stuff. Cool. So, as I put in the thumbnail, load the clip. This is part of where my mind is starting to see where the Cowboys are at this particular point in time, and looking at a set of data that we've seen over the past 7 weeks. And we can kind of say to ourselves, okay, this is what this team is. There is no question about it that the Dallas Cowboys have a special offense in 2025. You can't tell me otherwise. You're kidding yourself if you think that that's the case. The fact of the matter is this defense has been the deficiency of this team for quite so much this whole year, where literally if the defense holds its own, we're talking about the Cowboys, being 6-1? Like, we're talking about a team that isn't 3-1, but you take the tie away, you take the Eagles loss, you can put that on there still. But my point is that we're talking about this Cowboys team in a whole different stratosphere. We're talking about a ball club that's probably 5-2 at this point. And you might be saying, well, Space, you can't change that. But this is what I'm trying to get at here. There are two lines of thinking. Part of what I thought going into this year was you see how things pan out and you go from there. I'm going to tell you guys right now, and you can disagree with me, and that's fine. I'm saying F the picks. I'm not even just saying the first round picks. I'm talking about like your second and third rounders. Go add pieces to this defense. Get George Pickens re-signed. Because Dak Prescott is unbelievably playing at a level where he's the best quarterback in football. It's much so looking like that. There is no denying it. The man has had 4 straight games with 3 passing touchdowns or more. And he's doing it at a level that we have not seen in terms of the efficiency, the rate of production since his MVP type of year in 2023, but more specifically in 2020. And the NFL stands for not for long. Nothing's guaranteed. Obviously, Kenny Clark got hurt towards the tail end of the game, but this is what I'm talking about when it comes to F them picks. You need to go trade those picks for guys that are here right now. Because if we really think about it, there's no guarantee that this offense is going to play at this level in 2026 and 2027. There's no guarantee that the defense is going to get better with the draft picks that you have. And this is where I look at what the Cowboys did, and you have the money to make these moves. I don't know if they're going to trade Trevon, we'll see. And again, I understand we saw the one game versus the Washington Commanders, people will be like, Space, it's whatever. But the thing is, guys, is that do we really want to waste a MVP caliber year of Dak Prescott? Dead ass. Like, I'm being completely honest with you. If the window, let's just say in a hypothetical situation, the window opens up in 26 and 27. Are we going to wait for these first round picks to develop if they need to? I would say no. I think you need to go look around the league. You have to make the push to add personnel to this team now. The Cowboys have the best offense in football. They're able to run the ball very effectively. Their passing attack is so deadly. I just cannot believe that the Cowboys have that kind of talent. Like, it is unbelievable what we're seeing right now. I had to look, and I think we're going to take a look at this. Give me 1 second. I'm not even getting to the stat sheet from today's game, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. We played 7 games so far. Okay. I believe. Give me 1 second. Dak Prescott, I think, has 16 touchdown passes. Am I correct? Am I tripping? Has Dak Prescott thrown 16 touchdown passes this year? Can someone confirm that for me? I think because he had 13 going to this week, right? Okay, thank you, Scotty. Thank you so much. I was trying to look up. We've played 7 weeks of football. I don't think there's a Cowboys quarterback that's thrown more touchdowns to start a year than Dak. And to that point, completing 70% of his passes. Dude, I think if Dak Prescott is playing this good and the defense is average, I think this team can make it to the conference championship game. The NFC does not look that strong this year. Like, let's take a look at. I want to see because the Giants just lost, as we just talked about. And we're playing the Broncos next week. That's going to be a huge game. Cowboys need to win that to keep on track. The Cowboys are still on the outside looking in, but if we're looking at it this way, Panthers, I think the Falcons still got to play. You lost to the Panthers and the Bears who are in front of you, but it's a long season. So now the question becomes, and I guess this is a rhetorical question to all y'all, do you buy at the trade deadline? And the trade deadline's in November. I just think, and what's the good news? Clark did come back to play in the fourth quarter against the Commanders last year, so it wasn't okay. Perfect. Thank you so much, Scott, on that. Dude, I just think that you have to buy at the trade deadline. You can't tell me otherwise. Like, even if you're someone that believes Space, they need to go out there and they need to use those. I'm not even saying you have to trade the first round draft picks. That's not what I'm implying. What I'm implying is that you need to use the draft capital that you have and you need to go add to this team. Go give me an edge rusher. Go give me a linebacker. And by the way, you got DeMarvin Overshown coming back in the next couple of weeks. You have dudes coming back. If you can add on to that and you find a way to get into the postseason, nothing's guaranteed there. But I think that with what we're seeing, there is a formula for this Cowboys team to win. And again, this isn't like a one-off situation, guys. This is a situation where over the past 7 weeks, we've seen this, minus the Bears game, this offense has played amazing football. And this is exactly what we've been wanting to see since Brian Schottenheimer became the head coach. The problem has always been on the defensive side of the ball, but I firmly believe throw the draft picks away. I'm dead ass honest with you. I think you need to buy now. I'll make a trade. Oh, shit. Trade first. Sauce Gardner. No, I don't even think you need that big of a player in your cornerback room. I firmly believe what you need to do is you need to go add an edge rusher. You need to go add another linebacker and maybe a cornerback too, if you decide to move off of Diggs. I just don't see Gabriel. Well, not that. Sauce is overrated. That's why I'm not like super big on getting him. I think we have to buy. Number one offense in the league. You're going to have to play the rest of the season with the worst. Exactly. And again, what we could be seeing is maybe, just maybe, if this team can find a way to get the personnel that Matt Eberflus, and I was ready to can this dude. I'm still in that position because there were some plays where I'm like, what are we doing? But the fact of the matter is that I feel like now it's more of a personnel issue. Donovan Ezeraku finally got his first sack. He's getting more confident. It looks like he's playing at a much higher level every single week. So he's getting there. I'm not saying he's going to end up being an all-pro or anything, but he's getting better at that position. You're seeing Jadeveon Clowney. He's starting to play much better at the position as well because now he's getting his feet under him. He's playing the position again, and there's that. And I think that for the Cowboys, you look at what you're going to end up going up against. Now, I did say the Cowboys were going to go 2-2 in this stretch, mainly because I felt the defense was where it's at. So they're 2-1 in the 4-game stretch we talked about starting October. You're 2-1. If you manage to go 3-1, I think you're in a very good position. Now, I want to actually get into the game ball / stats of today's game. Starting things off, Jaden Daniels, I hope he's fully healthy. You know, it sucks to see how he got injured on the fumble. Just terrible thing to see that. And so we'll hear more about that as we move on because we do have to play Washington again at some point. So Marcus Mariota came in. You had 4 sacks today. You had 4 sacks today. Dak Prescott was only sacked 1 time. Dak, 21 for 30, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 130 passer rating. He's been amazing. Javonte Williams averaged 6.1 yards per carry. He had a 33-yard rush, a touchdown on the ground as well. And then we also saw Jadon Blue. He actually started getting some carries. If it wasn't for, oh my God, don't get me started on Jalen Tolbert. If it wasn't for Jalen Tolbert, I think that Blue has a nice carry on his resume, but it's starting to look like that. Okay, now that you're getting your feet under them because you're getting your guys back, right? We just had Tyler Booker come back. We're still waiting on Cooper Beebe to come back, but once you get him back, I think that you're good. When it comes to your receivers, CeeDee Lamb was targeted 8 times. He had 5 receptions, 110 yards, and that long touchdown pass, the 74-yarder. George Pickens, 4 receptions, 82 yards. He had a huge chunk play. He had 2 huge chunk plays, actually. He had the one play where it was like a 20-yard pass, and then he had the 44-yard pass towards the tail end of the half. Like, that was a huge swing of momentum. Like, okay, Commanders go down the field, they score, they pulled the game within a score. You just go right down the field in 3 plays, and you just get that right back. Jake Ferguson, man, 7 receptions, 29 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a 15-yard catch on 7 targets. I mean, again, Jake Ferguson wasn't a big yak guy today, but he did very well. Next, I wanted to give a shout out to Deron Bland, man. He finally gets an interception. Not only that, it's a pick 6. Just outstanding work from him. Kenneth Murray got a sack. Shamar James got a sack. Jadeveon Clowney got a sack. And, of course, Donovan Ezeraku got a sack. So the Cowboys defense had 2 turnovers. Just fantastic stuff. Brandon Aubrey, man. He now holds the record for most 60-yard field goals by a kicker. He beat Brett Maher. Remember that name? Finally beat him. They were tied. 61-yard field goal there. Awesome stuff there. Now going to the actual team stats, and then we'll get into further comments, questions, and things like that. Cowboys were 6 for 12, so they were 50% on 3rd down. Great stuff. They didn't have to go for it. In fact, side note, I hate when they're doing that thing where it looks like they're going to go for it, and then they just waste the timeout. I understand, like, you're in field goal range and you want to know where you're at. Don't do that. This is the 3rd time that's happened. Pissed me off. The Commanders were 0 for 2 on 4th down, 7 of 16 on 3rd down. You had 21 first downs and going 409 yards to the sorry, give me 1 second. Cowboys had less total plays on offense than the Commanders and still outgained them by several yards. Let's see. You know, the Commanders had 136 rushing yards, but I feel like that's a bit disingenuous because Jaden Daniels, I think, led the way for 35, and then you had, you know, Mariota come in and a couple other dudes. They were kind of playing on cruise control at that point in the game. I'm not trying to defend that, but my point. A lot of holding penalties by the Cowboys in this game. You got to play better than that. But you won the turnover battle. You did very well for yourself, and now you move on to Denver, which is great. And I think if we take a look at this Cowboys schedule, where are you at? There you are. So there's 2 teams that you have until you get to your bye week. You go on the road to Denver, which historically the Cowboys haven't won there since 92. And then you go up and you take on the Cardinals, which you haven't beaten, I think, since the early 2000s, I think. We haven't beaten, and Kyler Murray tends to play well against the Cowboys, which they're expecting for him to return from injury then. And then you had the bye week. You got the Raiders, who are terrible. You get the Eagles at home, Chiefs, Lions, and then you kind of start getting to a gauntlet there. But I think that it's now on the Cowboys to get this thing going. And I think that offensively, you have what it takes to get you where you want to go. Defensively, of course, we know what the story is there. But I wanted to talk about this MVP award and other Cowboys fans that are ungrateful for Dak Prescott's play. Because people continue to move the goalpost. Oh, well, he has to do it in January, February, whatever. We're not there yet. We won't know if the Cowboys will make the playoffs. But here's what I'm trying to get at is this is exactly why you paid him $60 million. This is exactly what we need to do. Man, Dak Prescott's been the reason that the Dallas Cowboys have been in all of these games -1, even though you technically were still in that Chicago game before it kind of went off the rails because defensively you just wet the bed. But I think that Dak Prescott is the MVP of the league. If the Cowboys somehow make the playoffs and they don't make any additional moves, I would be pissed if they gave it to someone else. I'm not giving it to any of these other dudes. No. The narrative around this team has been they have one of the worst defenses in NFL history and an offense that's putting up points at an astronomical rate because the quarterback has finally the weapons to do what he needs to do. And on top of that, as he continues to age, the cerebral way of processing the game has improved to a point to where he is doing it at a level we haven't seen. Dead ass. Like, we have not seen Dak Prescott play this well, this efficient, this just impeccable. I'm not even trying to glaze. I'm not even trying to BS anybody. I've never said that Dak Prescott was playing the best football of his career this season. Well, I think I said it last week, but my point being is that it's on a level we haven't seen since 2020, really. Like, 2023 Dak was awesome, but there was that other level. And I think, is it crazy to say that Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFL right now? Like, in terms of how he's playing the game. And I think the reason why he's playing at the level, it's an underrated thing that people aren't talking about. It's his mobility. Dak Prescott being able to be mobile, move around the pocket the way that he's been able to, and run for first downs and not worry about that has been huge for this Cowboys offense. They haven't asked them to do any read options. They haven't asked them to do anything crazy. But the fact of the matter being that they have an offense that's doing this at a level that, again, we haven't seen. I got to look. Hold on. Well, we played 7 games so far, right? Start of season. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I could find. God, I wish the stat news sucks, man. Most passing touchdowns through 6 games of the season. Does anybody? I wish. I'm sorry if I'm kind of pausing. I'm really intrigued to learn. NFL QB most passing yards through 7 games to start the season. Yeah, stat muse is so bad, dude. I don't understand it. Like, I'm trying to. Do I have to go to Chat GPT to ask? Let me see. I'm gonna just boot up the site. Who has most passing TDs in the first 7 games to start a season? And I'm sorry, I really want to get a point on this. I'll let it think. But like, what I'm trying to get at is like, dude. Okay. So here's what's crazy. So the most passing touchdowns in the first 7 games of an NFL season is 19 by Deshaun Watson during his first 7 games played. Now, I'm going to do this for a Cowboys quarterback. Because, and I'm sorry if I'm pausing, there's a huge point that I'm trying to get here. I wish. I think it has to be. There's no way. And again, like, I try to find these stats because I think, okay, ready for this? The record for the most passing touchdowns in the first 7 games of a season for the Dallas Cowboys is Dak Prescott. This guy has thrown more. He was literally 3 touchdowns away from having the most touchdowns thrown in 7 games to start. Like, that is insane to me. And the fact is that this could end up being a situation where if we really use the math, right? Dak Prescott has thrown 16 touchdown passes through 7 games. That means he's averaging 2 per game. We have 10 more games to go, ladies and gentlemen. So that's 22 more touchdowns to add to his name. 22 plus 16. That's 38 touchdowns. That would mean that he would, like, I think that he could possibly, and again, that's just 2 touchdowns a game for the average. He could hit 40 touchdowns. Now, the thing is that will they give him the MVP? I don't think they will. I think that they'll look at it and be like, you know what, let's, again, this is more of a laid back show because I want to get a point across. Here are the betting odds. Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Drake May, Matthew Stafford are the 4. You know, if you want to even include it a tie, because Drake May and Matthew Stafford are tied at plus 1,100. Jared Goff is the 5th. Dak Prescott is at plus 3,000. I am looking at, and again, am I being a homer for saying this? I think Dak Prescott's having a better year than Patrick Mahomes. In fact, statistically, he is. He's having a better year than Josh Allen. He's having a better year than Drake May. He's having a better year than Matthew Stafford, and he's having a better than, now again, stats this, stats that. But it's a narrative-driven award, and unfortunately, the people hate the Cowboys. But the other thing is that it took this situation to give people Dak Prescott his flowers. So, looking at where we're at, I'm not, and again, I've said it several times, and I still believe this. This is not a team that can win a championship. You have an offense that is championship caliber. It's not like they're one-dimensional. They can't run the ball. Only their passing game is good, and you shut down their pass game. They have the ability to do these things schematically. They've done well running the football. They're able to put up passing plays where you're getting your quarterback easy buttons. The one thing that's holding this team back is their defense. If they can somehow manage to add talent into that room to take you from, let's just say, the 32nd, or even, we'll just say 33rd, because that's how bad they've been, defense, and you bring them to middle of the pack, is it crazy to say that this team, if this continues, can go on a run to get to the playoffs and continue to play white hot? Of course. We got 10 more games to go, guys. We're halfway through October. But again, I'm telling you this as of, what is this? The 19th of October of 2025. We need to get guys in this room to capitalize on the offense that you have currently humming. If you can't do that, there's no point, man. There is no point in waiting, because there's no guarantee that Dak Prescott's going to be throwing at this level and playing at this level. And there's no guarantee. Like, we all can collectively agree that if there was a playoff game next week and we were there, we would be saying we have the offense to do it, but if the defense can't pick up the slack, we're going home, right? And so that's where I just think at the end of the day, this, Steven, Jerry, pick up the phone, man. Let me backtrack that. Brian Schottenheimer needs to do his job and march into Jerry's office and be with Matt Eberflus and be like, yo, we need some more players. We're not waiting for these draft picks. Go get, because if we really think about it, the Dallas Cowboys have missed on a lot of drafts of recent that have hurt them defensively speaking. You can go watch the video. We talked about it. So for me, I think that if the Dallas Cowboys truly want to win a championship, or even if you want to think about it in this light, but Space, let's just, they're not going to do anything. Okay, let's say they missed the playoffs this year and they still made a move. Like, I don't give a crap. Throw a name at Max Crosby. I don't know. Whoever. Max Crosby, Myles Garrett. You have the draft capital to do it. Don't BS me and say that you don't, because you definitely do. If you go get Max Crosby, if you go get another corner and you trade away Trevon Diggs, or if you decide not to trade Trevon and you just ride out the season and you go get another linebacker, how are you feeling? Like, I actually want to ask, and if anybody in the chat can answer me honestly, and if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I'm not here to just create an echo chamber. I'm asking honestly, because if our offense is this good and we're sitting here saying, well, if the defense can't, okay, then what do we need? Like, you have the draft capital to add basically any player on this team. You can. Don't let anybody BS you. When you have that kind of first round picks, and by the way, if hypothetically, and I wouldn't do this, if the Cowboys had to say trade away a second round pick, or maybe the Packers first round pick they gave him to go get Max Crosby for 2026, let's say you give up that first rounder to go get Max Crosby. Does it make you feel any different? You still have your first round pick. It's not like you traded away a first round pick that you're going to need. On top, you're going to probably get a guy like in the teens or the late the teens if you miss the playoffs. And you have Max Crosby coming in for next year. Now, again, there's no guarantee these dudes stay healthy and all this other stuff, but my point is that you have to strike while the iron's hot. You need to look at teams, because my point is that if you want to get NFL proven commodities and players rather than waiting for these players to develop, let's just say hypothetically, I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, the Raiders could end up being in a situation where let's just say they start having a good year. Yeah, we're not trading away Max Crosby. We're that good. They're horrible. If you go out there and take advantage of how, like, look at Miami. You can go look at a Jaden Phillips or insert player here. Doesn't matter. If you have to strike while the iron is hot when it comes to the other positions these teams are in and the position that you're in. You have the assets to do it. Go do it. Get it done. Oh, yeah, and Dan Quinn, he made some stupid calls like on 4th and 5. He should have just punted, not gone for it, and I can't remember the other play he made. Yeah, and again, like, it is what it is. You capitalize on that. So I guess as we're about to close the show out, if anybody has any comments, questions, you can throw them in the chat right now, and I'll get to it in just a second. The Dallas Cowboys have done everything that they have done offensively. What's going on, Pat? How are you? Good win today, little bro. Much love and respect. Yeah, everything's going well. Thank you so much, my man. You have to load the clip defensively. The offense is set. You are putting up numbers at a level we have not seen like in a long, long time. And this sounds kind of familiar, right? But my point is that if this defense, if you go add Max Crosby into the room, sorry, my camera's focusing. If you go throw in a corner that can be cornerback too, or if you just keep Trevon Diggs, if you bring back DeMarvin Overshown from injury and you add another linebacker, what's to say that this team can't instantly improve overnight? You have the defensive tackles to get it done. Your edges you need to improve, especially you need a pass rusher. But yeah, I would make a trade in the Jets, trade Diggs for Sauce Gardner and swap picks, then trade a linebacker for a safety, maybe add another edger like Crosby or something. You're probably not going to do that with the Jets, but I do like the idea of trading. Like those are teams you want to trade with. And give me 1 second. Max Crosby's 28 years old. I think that he can use a change of scenery. He has 4 sacks on the season. You look at his contract. Now, this is going to be what's crazy. Contractually, he has a huge cap hit over the next couple of seasons. But again, I don't give a shit. Excuse my French, but I don't care about 2029, 2030. I don't give a damn. I don't. Max Crosby's a really good player. You know who else is a really good player? Some of these other dudes that are out there. So I think we talked about Minka Fitzpatrick. Oh, he got hurt this week. Fucking hell. I didn't watch the Raiders game. All I know is they lost by like a F ton of points. Was it bad? Was it bad? God, Stevie killing my mood. Killing my mood. No, I'm just kidding. Let me see. How bad is the injury? Knee and back injuries. Son of a bitch. All right, go get Myles Garrett then. That sucks. Thought about adding that guy from Jacksonville. Who? Josh Hines Allen, I think his name is. The guy that was that first overall pick from many moons ago. Yeah, I mean, but I you know what I'm trying to get at, and I'm sorry, like that was my bad. I didn't know that Max Crosby was hurt, but you get the sentiment that I'm trying to throw out there. You need to add players, and you can't waste this year of Dak Prescott's career. You just can't. Like, they have the best offense in the NFC. Like, if we look at it for where we're at right now in the conference, you got Tampa, Green Bay, Philadelphia, the Rams, San Fran, let's see, the Seahawks, and the Lions. I think your offense can stack up against any of those. Defensively, you'd get destroyed. But I think that if you can get a defense that can hold a team to 20 points or less, I think it can beat anybody. And that's been the problem. We've seen it this year. If like you really should be 5-2. This team should be 5-2 right now. 6-1, really. But there's no guarantee, guys. So a little bit of overtime. I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, hit the like, subscribe, all that other stuff. I'm going to go ahead and head out, but another huge win for the Cowboys. You're 3-3-1. You got Denver coming up. I think these next two games are going to tell me a lot about where this team's at. I still firmly believe you buy at the deadline and take advantage of what's there, but all right. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will. Yep, and Pat, I agree, bro. A few pieces on this defense and working. Yeah, like that's really where we're at. Like, it's not like we're BSing. Like, are we lying? Like, am I lying? Are the Cowboys that deficient offensively? Like, we were talking about them having an off day. So, all right, guys, I will catch you guys later. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.